Hello and welcome to Business Matters, the show about people behind businesses that help make Tacoma a great place to live and work. I'm your host, Mike Wark, and today on Business Spotlight, we put you in the craftsman seat of a Tacoma upholstery business known for hands-on skill. District Focus highlights two Tacoma business centers, Hilltop and Stadium, both involved in the Link Light Rail expansion project with their stores and restaurants open for business. And on this episode of Tacoma Means Business, Enterprise says you should make your first buck count towards success. And today my guest is Krystle Edwards, founder of Grit City Women. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You bet. I'm really looking forward to this interview because when you think about making Tacoma a great place to live and work, programs like Grit City Women are just a great example of how we continue to find new ways to make the place better. Tell us about Grit City Women.
Grit City Women is a female-forward organization that nurtures a creative approach to empowering small business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders in Tacoma. It basically has networking events, seminars, workshops, and it allows women the opportunity to connect and to learn from one another and use each other as resources to help their business boost or help them get into leadership positions and all those other great things.
Sounds like it's really taking off.
It is. It's actually taking off way more than I expected.
So lots of variety of businesses, a variety of people, including some wanting to start a business, some who've established their businesses. Everyone exchanging and learning from each other.
Yes, it's been incredible. So we have doctors, we have bookkeeping consultants, financial advisors, architects, you name it, we got it. So.
And it's a business.
It is a business.
So tell us about the business component of it. You have events, and then you have memberships and sponsorships, right?
Yeah. So the idea behind having the sponsorships is to help keep the costs low and affordable to women that are starting out and the smaller businesses that maybe don't have a bigger budget. So we can help kind of give them a hand up. So the sponsors right now, we have the Business Shop and Melissa Jones.
Business Shop?
Yes, the Business Shop is a female-owned small business here in Tacoma.
Oh.
Bookkeeping consultant, so they're one of our sponsors. And then Melissa Newell, financial advisor, she's one of our sponsors as well. And then also 7 Cs and Elope 253, they sponsor us with event spaces.
Wonderful. So that gives you an example of the kind of people who are leaning in and supporting it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have a ton of support. It's been incredible, the people that have come forward to say, I love what you're doing and I want to be a part of it. How can we help?
So tell me about the events. What happens at them?
So the monthly networking events are, we get a speaker, a local woman from Tacoma or that has a really solid affiliation with Tacoma. And really, it can be anything that they're a part of. So we've had weightlifters, we've had bookkeeping consultants, we have mountaineers and accountants, and then also scientists that are going to be coming and speaking at our events. And they essentially share their story, share the challenges that they face, maybe some that are specifically related to being a woman in the industry, lessons learned, and it's educational and inspirational, and they're really laid back, so you're not forced to do anything out of your comfort zone. You can come and show up, relax, you can mingle if you want, or you can just listen to the speaker, and you just go on your way.
So you have the talk. Are there other components to the events?
That's it. We have about 30 minutes. Usually we have refreshments there, so you can come in and mingle, and then we have the speaker. There is usually a Q&A towards the end, which is my personal favorite part because that really goes into, it can go anywhere. And there's a lot of really valuable information that you get from the Q&A. And those usually last for another 10 minutes after the speaker is speaking. And that's an opportunity for women to pick the brain of the person that's there. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
And those are structured so that there's both sort of the lecture component and some interaction amongst groups.
Yes.
Really focus in on learning from each other.
Yeah, those are going to be very educational and just all about getting women this knowledge so they feel comfortable either starting out on their own at a smaller scale and then knowing when they need to hire a professional to move forward to the next step, right?
And that's a key point.
Yes.
So it's great to see this kind of support for entrepreneurship. But I know every entrepreneur has a story.
Yeah.
And of how they started doing their business.
Right.
And you're no exception, because your day job is working at the Naval Shipyard?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
You're a supervisor?
Yes, I'm a manager there, yes.
Up in Bremerton. And so you do this in addition to that work.
Yeah.
But you came into it by establishing a nonprofit.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So I started the Liz Rocks Foundation.
Liz Rocks. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is about mountain climbing, right?
It is a little bit about mountain climbing. It's actually in honor of one of my best friends who was lost in an accident
Oh my gosh.
about 5 years ago. Her name was Liz Daly, and she went to Stadium High School. She was a pioneer in the mountaineering industry as a female. She actually just got inducted into the Tacoma Pierce County Hall of Fame as the first snowboarder.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes, yeah. So we've done a lot of work in her honor because she was such a revolutionary woman in the mountaineering industry, and especially in the snowboarding industry. So, and obviously she was an incredible human. So we just decided we wanted to do something in honor of her, and we partnered with the Greater Metro Parks Foundation, a bunch of us friends, and raised money to build a rock climbing wall at Point Defiance Park in her honor.
That's great. How is it going?
Great. So we raised $150,000 in the first 2 years.
Wow.
And now we probably ended that in 2017, I want to say. And so they are actually starting to survey the area in Camp 6 to prepare for the construction and design of the wall.
And who do you have in mind taking advantage of this wonderful rock wall?
Everyone. And
Okay.
in my mind, everyone should
Great.
be taking advantage of it. Definitely the youth. Right now we currently do, now that the wall is done, we provide scholarships for underrepresented youth to do mountaineering activities. So I would love to see the wall utilized for that some more. And then obviously the public, anybody who wants to get into climbing, they can go out there and climb on the wall.
So you're impacting the community in so many ways. So in the process of the fundraising and sort of engaging in nonprofit activity, you realized you could use some extra business savvy.
Yeah.
Is that what launched
Yeah.
Grit City Women?
Definitely.
Yeah. Is there a moment when, how did you come to starting a whole organization on?
So when I was going through that process, there was never that moment, but there was always that hole,
Right.
where I would be online looking at information and just maybe wanting a little validation.
That's really interesting. So that's your audience. Those are the people out there who are watching this saying, I do that.
Right.
You mean I could just go hang out with
Yeah.
these amazing women and gritty people
Yeah.
and learn stuff?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we definitely all have, come to where we're at with a lot of grit and learning on our own and trial and error and failures, So that's how later down the road, I realized there was a need for that.
Okay, so did you start when you did your first seminar or your first evening event where you drew people in to come listen to a speaker, did you have in mind that it will evolve into this business with sponsorships and everything?
I had a vision of that because I would love to see this grow and to be something that can impact a lot of women in the community, and eventually something that I can have be my full-time career that I can focus on because I am so passionate about it. And in order for that to happen, I have to have it become a business, and I want it to be accessible. So I have to figure out the business model and be very precise about how I'm doing that. So sponsorships were always going to be a part of that, and the support from other local businesses that want to empower women. So they support our vision. So
That's great.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing for the community. Tacoma is doing so many things for entrepreneurs, and there's so many different parts of that. This just seems like a really important piece.
Yeah.
And I just have to add one more thing, since there's the rock walls and you scaled the challenges of entrepreneurship. Climbing mountains is not novel to you. This is something you do, right?
Apparently, yeah.
How many mountains have you peaked?
So I've climbed Rainier, summited Rainier, Helens, Adams, and Baker.
And next will be...
Well, I'm hoping to do hood next,
Great.
but maybe next summer. Yeah.
So all this ties into everything you do.
Yeah, it really is a little bit about that risk taking and a little bit about reaching the next level, that next peak, that next obstacle, and putting in the work, the training, and just kind of stepping out and doing it. And I think that translates from the mountains. You take that risk to go. You don't know if you're going to summit. You don't know what's going to happen. And you put in a lot of work to prepare to get there. And you might not make it, but if you do, it's amazing. And I think that's the same thing with entrepreneurship too,
So people out there watching this who are thinking, I wonder if Grit City might be for me.
Yeah.
Given all that, what would you say?
I would say definitely come check out one of our events. Check out the website. You can follow us on social media and see what we're all about. We're just, the more the merrier.
Welcoming.
Yes.
A lot easier than taking those first few steps to climb a mountain.
Yeah.
But it can take you far.
Yes, and the community that's in Grit City Women is very welcoming, and some of the comments that I've gotten back is that it is very authentic. So the connections that the women are building are very authentic, and even myself, from the members that I have now, I feel like I've known them forever because we all come together and we're so excited about what's happening.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Krystle, thank you for being a guest today.
Thank you.
And good luck with your business and everything you do.
Yes, thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
Connecting people to business is what Tacoma is all about. The future is right on track with light rail, new business, and historic pride, all packed with vitality and charm. Both the Hilltop Business Association and the Stadium Historic Business District are experiencing a new era of growth as the Link Light Rail extension gets closer to its 2022 completion. One thing both districts want to remind everyone, they're open for business.
Hi, I'm from the Stadium Historic Business District.
And I represent the Hilltop Business Association. The Hilltop Business Association is comprised of all the businesses and the residents of the Hilltop area.
What I think is really unique about the Stadium District is the historic significance of our architecture and the founders of our city that lived right here.
Mostly we're mom and pop stores, and people want to support people that they know. So I really feel like the Hilltop has that uniqueness about it. We definitely see with Sound Transit bringing in the transit through here in 2022, we definitely see more people coming up here, wanting to work here, wanting to live up here, wanting to do business up here.
Well, we've been looking forward to this. We've known about that it was coming for a long time. It's going to be a different district, and I think we'll have to go through those growing pains as we adjust to the changes. But I think they're exciting. They're part of what a metropolitan area looks like.
We're seeing the future growing. By 2022, we don't even know where it's going to go. We just see positivity up here.
The one thing that has been really helpful is that Sound Transit has been very supportive in informing us on a weekly basis as to what the next stages and what the phases are.
They're doing great with the signage here on MLK, really trying to promote the businesses of the Hilltop, even during this construction time.
And you might notice throughout the district and up on MLK that these large blue signs that indicate all of our businesses and trying to draw attention to them. And that's the support of Sound Transit, and that's been very, very helpful.
We want to bring more people to the community. We want to show people that our community Hilltop is growing.
The change that's happened is that we have to look forward to the change in the future, and that's the only constant that we know.
For information or updates on the Tacoma Link Extension project, visit Sound Transit's website at soundtransit.org/system-expansion. Up next, Andrew Fry provides some business tidbits for success on this segment of Tacoma Means Business. Entrepreneurs wear a lot of hats. Sales, marketing, production, design, and customer satisfaction are all important to success. On Tacoma Means Business, Andrew Fry advises us on what it takes to help grow and increase your company's profitability.
I love talking about entrepreneurship, and in the course of my day, I'm constantly helping out others who are looking to start their companies, and I sit on a multitude of advisory boards or as an advisor for a number of startup companies. And although I do love to give my tips with the idea of here's 3 ways or here's 5 ways, I'm going to start with one way. Make your first dollar. If you want to be an entrepreneur, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to make that one sale. Make your first dollar. There's a reason why people will take that first dollar or that first check and put it in a certificate in a frame and hang it on the wall. It's the proof that you've started a business. And although I say make that first dollar, I have seen a number of examples where that first dollar is what stopped a company from launching. And I'll give you 3 quick examples of real-world companies that I'm not going to name, but that I at least helped advise the people who are starting them. One was a person who wanted to start a game. Now, gaming and game companies are very hard to start, but it's very important that you get the game going, up and running, and make that first dollar. Sell the game. Make sure that there's an audience for it. Well, this particular person had a good idea for a game. I think it was a great idea for a game, and even involved other people to make it happen. Where he wasn't a great graphic artist, he got graphic folks to actually design and implement what we'll call them the villains of the game, the monsters as they were. And I saw him work on this for 2 years with lots of different people involved until, guess what? There was a game. It existed and it was playable. And then he decided not to sell it. He decided that after all of that experience that he'd gotten, he was going to take a job as a software developer, which is fantastic. And he made a lot of money. But that wasn't a company, and it wasn't a gaming company. It was a hobby that came to fruition in a game, but it wasn't a business, because it's not a business till you make that first dollar. Now, the second one was an interesting company that worked on a mobile application, and they actually did have customers, and that they were giving away the mobile app to begin with. And a lot of people were downloading and using it until it came time that they actually had to decide what the feature set would be that would make it a viable product out in industry. And they made that decision. And they came forward and they found a customer. And then they decided not to go forward with the company. They had done everything except launch it with payment, that first dollar. They have their own reasons for not starting or starting, but that's when you become a company. And the third one was a gentleman who put together what I consider to be a platform play, an actual product that once actually implemented could be used over a course of different verticals within an industry. And that's a really powerful company to start. And you know what he did? After 2 years, he got a contract. As soon as that contract hit and his first delivery had to be made, that's when he was a company. And I believe that this company is going to take off and grow. Well, how about for myself? Where's an example there? I had a company called Lariat Software, and Lariat Software worked with streaming media applications. We had a solution for streaming media servers that would allow for you to create reports and let you know who was viewing, how long they were viewing for, where they were coming from. Now, if you did that on a single server, it was a rather simple thing to implement when you looked at the log files and created the solution. Was there a business behind it? No, there wasn't enough customers for there to be a business. But there was for the larger companies that were doing multiple streams. So we sold that first product, and we sold it for a very low price. It was like $19.95. But we had enough customers that they came back to us and said, now this is what we need. We'd love you to tweak this. Can you increase the accuracy here? And I don't have one server, I have 20 servers. It was through that feedback that we were able to then implement a product to a different category of customer at a much higher price. That price was around $20,000 plus ongoing maintenance and fees. That was a business. That employed people. But if not for that first dollar, that first little stats package, we wouldn't have gotten the feedback to go further on.
Thanks, Andrew. For more ways on launching and growing your business, check out Tacoma's Community and Economic Development Program at makeittacoma.com. On Business Spotlight, we'll meet a craftsman specializing in classic upholstery, from autos to ottomans. Stay tuned. Every stitch matters if you're looking for quality in the seat of the upholstery trade. On this edition of Spotlight on Business.
Hi, my name is Emoja. I'm here at Rasta Upholstery.
Emoja is the passionate owner of Rasta Upholstery. He works, creates, designs, and manufactures a variety of upholstery for clients, ranging from antique furniture to automotive seats, all from his home office.
I pretty much refurbish furniture and give them a new look and provide comfort.
Emoja's father was an upholsterer in Jamaica. After working many different jobs, Emoja was bitten by the upholstery bug, finding his passion with scissors, foam, and fabric.
I do this because I love it very much. My father did it for over 40 years. I picked up in the last 9 or so years of it. In the last of it, I owned my own business prior to moving here in 2015.
Papa Rasta Upholstery is based on the can-do attitude that Emoja says was fostered by his father.
I walk with the principle and idea that my father shared with me, that there's nothing you cannot do, and anything someone else do, you can do it as well.
Emoja says his skills include traditional craftsmanship with tack and needle, but progress with technology, mastering the staple gun and epoxy, requiring each job to pair itself with the right technique.
Well, what I observed my father was using was tack and hammer. So the more modern style is pneumatic staple gun with staplers. I've recently upholstered a chair from in the 1920s, and that was done by a craftsman that did use hammer and tack. Beyond that, mostly stuff that I've been working on is more modern.
Planned obsolescence isn't always the case with furniture and upholstery items. Sometimes Emoja finds even new construction projects integrate material with sentimental value that require his skills.
People generally throw stuff away, so it's very rare, you know, when someone said, okay, I have this chair from XYZ amount of time, I would like to keep it, but I want to give it a new look with fresh material and padding and everything, and that's where I come in.
All businesses have a beginning, some from the back of a garage like Papa Rasta Upholstery. There is profit to be made, but in Emoja's case, his shop provides him with satisfaction of a job well done.
Take a lot of pride in my work. It's what brings me most joy is a satisfied customer.
The labor plan of Papa Rasta Upholstery is that of a one-person shop, with occasional help from a friend depending on the job at hand.
I'm the sole proprietor because I'm working by myself. Randomly, I'll have a friend come over to assist.
Emoja developed a business style, pacing out job assignments to avoid overworking himself and his resources.
Work generally flow consistent, so in other words, when one goes out, another one comes in. Just the right rhythm based on the workman available for the demand at the moment.
Papa Rasta Upholstery's future is based on two focal points, expansion and education.
Papa Rasta Upholstery, the idea is to have multiple locations, you know, Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue, etc. And even beyond that, where we could open institution and train individual, these young upcoming students that are leaving high school, you know, could be another trade for, you know, it's a beautiful skill to have.
When asked why Tacoma, Emoja tacks on the pride he feels living, working, and being a part of his community.
I love Tacoma. The only place I've traveled is here. Prior to leaving Jamaica, I haven't had the opportunity to travel elsewhere. I've heard stories, I've read news, and this place sticks out very well. I feel very welcome. I've been made to feel very welcome, and there's no other place that I would rather be right now.
That's it for Business Matters. Join me next time for more insight into the Tacoma business scene. See you then.